Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
I'm so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back. What? Oh my God.
Wait, what's going on? What is happening?
What is going? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the play.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Birdfish.
How about that?
Birdfish fans, stand up. We did it.
What can I say? What can I say?
Okay. They did it. It was not pretty. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm ecstatic and oh my goodness, what a win. There we go. They tried to lose it. They did everything in their power to lose it. But Peter, a win is a win. I like how you put it. A win is a win. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ryan Ripken Show post-game on Kevin and Zach React and cross-streaming. This was an ugly game. Did I mention it was ugly? Because it was. Ravens defense, absolutely incredible. Did their job. They were a sole bright spot to this game. Ravens special teams tried to give the ball away multiple times, resulted in actually 6 points from Cleveland. Could have been more had the defense not stepped up when Cleveland got the ball on their own 5-yard line, or on the Ravens 5-yard line, excuse me. You have the offsides on the 4th down on the punt. What are we doing there? Gives them 3 more points before we go to half. You have the offense. The ball hits off of Keaton Mitchell's helmet, pop up. It's a pick 6. Then all of a sudden you get all the momentum in the world after Nate Wiggins goes and intercepts it. Comes right out and throws an interception right back. It felt like it was going to be one of those games where you looked back and said, how did the Ravens lose that? But at the end of the day, when the dust settled, when the clock read 0-0-0, the Baltimore Ravens walked away with a 23-16 win. And Raymond, I like how you put this. Is it true the Ravens didn't deserve to win? Yes, but after a 1-5 start, who cares? Yeah, no, you nailed it. Hit the nail on the head. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it does not matter how they got there. The only stat that matters, the only tidbit that matters, the only thing that matters is when the clock struck 0, the Ravens were up 23-16. 23-16. And yes, should have. Derrick Henry long run. We had the Mark Andrews, the fake tush push into a little quarterback sweep, tight end sweep, touchdown for 35 yards to seal it off. Wow. Needed that game so bad, especially with Pittsburgh winning earlier today. The Ravens are back at 500. 5-5. Sentence that really, when they sat there 1-5, you knew was possible. But then you had Tyler Huntley versus the Bears that are suddenly, everyone was talking about how bad of a game that, win that was. Like, all you did was beat the Bears. The Bears are what? Currently 6-4? 7-3. Sorry, the Bears are currently 7-3. You beat the Bears, then you beat the Dolphins on a short week in Miami. You then go into Minnesota. You beat the Vikings in a close game that you really didn't look great in. Another showing this week going into Cleveland. The weather is not ideal. It's cold. There's wind. It's not great. But what do? They found a way. Now, does it help that, let's call it what it is? Would they have beaten a team that was not a revolving door at quarterback? And I'm not sure they have a good option on the roster. Yeah. Do I think I'll be honest with you, when Shedeur Sanders came in, I was like, this is the spark that the Browns offense needed. And it looked like it threw 2 plays, 2 completions. Then suddenly, I believe he went on an 0-for-7 streak. So kind of settled in. The Ravens, Zach Orr, give him credit. He figured out that you put pressure on Shedeur, especially when you're thrown into a game like that. It's not like Shedeur had all week to prepare. It's not, he was thrown into the moment. Personally, I believe Shedeur is going to be that quarterback going forward. I think he maybe makes a few more things happen than Gabriel, but it does not help, the Browns right now that they are trying to figure it out. They're running multiple quarterbacks out there. They're trying to see what happens. Joe Flacco, your one veteran, he leaves in the trade to Cincinnati. If the Ravens were facing a above average offense, they lose that ball game. I'm very, very, very confident if they play an above average offense the way they just did, they lose that ball game, because that good offense is going to put it in, they're going to put it in the end zone when they get it at the 5. They're going to convert. So yeah, defensively though, the defense, give them credit. Defense, give them credit. We can talk about all day about how the beginning of the year they weren't playing great. You can talk about today the competition, like, oh, it's just the Browns. You were just, Zach, what are you talking about? You're just talking about how the Browns have a revolving door at quarterback. You're just talking about how they couldn't get anything going. Why are you saying give the credit to the defense? Because the defense still had to make that chaos happen. The defense had to go out there and make things happen. Big, 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 big. Very big. Very big for the defense to go out there and do what they're supposed to. Wester fumbles, balls at the 5-yard line, hold them to 3, keep it a 1-possession game. All of a sudden you go out there, yeah, they gave up the big play right after the offsides, hold them to 3. Get a big turnover, all of a sudden the next thing the offense goes out there, throws an interception on the first pass of the game or of the possession. Momentum's right back, doesn't matter, get a stop. Defense looked incredible. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe. This is the Ryan Ripken Show post-game show on Kevin and Zach React on the Ryan Ripken Show. I'm your host, Zach Bollinger. We are vertical. We are horizontal. We are everywhere on YouTube. We are also over on X reacting to this, and we will be live later tonight at the conclusion of the Sunday night football game. Kevin Ostrecker, the host of Locked On Ravens, and I will be back here. So we're probably going to do our usual. I'll be out of here in like 15, 20 minutes. But, man, it was a win. That's really the only way you can put this one, is it was a win. It was not pretty. The offensive line, Sunday golfer, offensive line is still a problem. Yeah, because when they get into obvious running, situations, they have not done well. When they get to the red zone and the Browns would turn their focus to Derrick Henry, they were able to stop them quite consistently. So definitely an issue there that they're going. I keep saying that they want to make a switch. I keep saying, Emory Jones, he's got to be better. Corey Bullock, he's got to be better. Like, I'm not sure if the Savior's walking through the door right now. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. But overall, they found a way. They found a way to win. Yeah, I see Donovan. Appreciate you. I don't know what they're supposed to do. Like, you can't run to Falele's side. He's getting pushed. They got on the one drive, they start off with a 9-yard run to Henry. You're feeling awesome. And then the next play, Falele just misses his block. Falele. and Henry stuff for 3. And no, I am not Ryan for the Ryan Ripken channel. Gets a little confusing. Ryan Ripken show. We're live Monday through Friday. I'm Zach Bollinger here on Kevin and Zach React, here on the Ryan Ripken show. I go live on the channel after every Ravens and Orioles game on Kevin and Zach React, every Ravens game on Ryan Ripken show channel. But Ryan is also here during the week. So, and sometimes hops on here. So what a game. Once again, I don't want to harp on it too much, but gosh, the special teams needs to get this thing together. This was really the first time the special teams felt like they were having a bad game. Jordan Stout still looked fantastic. They need to re-sign Jordan Stout. VT, this is a foul. Okay, just because the Ravens won doesn't mean we gotta be taking shots here. Oh man. And music lover, this is my biggest thing. It feels like, especially, I'm going to say this, I didn't hate the play calling for, between the 20s. I felt like they had something going. They had a good rhythm. But once again, it feels like they're so predictable in the red zone. And that's been their biggest issue, is they get to the red zone. He gets to the red zone, and then Monken, either they're like, okay, let's run halfback dive 7 times. And then the next thing you know, it's like, okay, that didn't work. Let's go sweep to Zay. That didn't work. Let's do a rollout to the right. It's where, it's where the issue has been all season. It's been the Ravens are able to get to the red zone. And yeah, it's like, and even on the play actions, it's predictable. That's the other issue. It feels like they're just predictable. When they get to the red zone, feels like you and I can call out what they're going to do. Feels like you and I can call out what they're going to do. But let me get into the Ravens. Let's get into the box score overall, because overall view. And then if you would like to get some more in-depth analysis, hear from Kevin Oestreicher of Locked On Ravens. Later tonight, we'll be live around 11 at the conclusion of the Sunday night football game. So you're not going to want to miss that. And that if it's too late, that's okay. Watch it back in the morning. But let's go over the overall team stats at the moment. So this is the story. Ravens barely win while outscoring an opponent 351 to 187 total yards, passing yards 167, rushing yards 184 to 106, 5.9 yards per play, 17 first downs compared to 10. Third down efficiency, the Ravens were not great, only 5 of 13, but the defense holding the Browns of 2 of 14. Fourth down efficiency, the Ravens, it was 1, and they made the most out of it. That Mark Andrews fake tush push sweep for the touchdown. Give Todd Monken his credit. We're going to talk about the issues they have in the red zone, but that right there was an unbelievable play. Unbelievable play. Trying to see if I missed anything on just as the quotes are coming in from the Ravens post game. I got that over here to make sure I don't miss anything. But let's continue. First down, total plays 60 to 54, sacks allowed 5 to 3. You know what, everyone, we're just gonna sit back and clap for a second. I just would like to sincerely congratulate you, along with myself, for the great honor it is that we do not have to go up against Myles Garrett the rest of the year. Because let me tell you, that man gives me nightmares every snap. I would send the entire line to him. Myles Garrett, absolutely unreal. But the Ravens did get home 3 times. It felt like, especially once Shedeur got in there, they were sending the house, trying to make him process quickly. And once again, do I think this was the best game Shedeur could have played? Absolutely not. He didn't look great, but he's thrust into this moment. Let him get the keys and see what he can do. Ravens lose the 1 fumble on the muff punt, get the 1 interception. Lamar throws 2. The Keaton one is not his fault. The other one, it gets tipped by your own lineman. That kind of sucks. Like that, I'm not going to necessarily give you a pass for, but hey, let's move on though to our player stats, because this is what it's all about. Lamar Jackson, not his best game. 14 for 25. Let me get what the passer rating was real fast just before. So passer rating, yeah. Bad day for Lamar. 47.6. 14 of 25, 193 yards, 2 interceptions. Maybe one of the worst games statistically and just overall with the passer rating that you're going to see Lamar Jackson play. This Cleveland defense is good. They've had the Ravens number. This before going into this year. The Cleveland Browns had split the last 4 years with the Ravens. They always get one on us. This offense or this Browns defense always gives us headaches. So it was good. Even in a bad game, a pretty bad game for Lamar and a very bad game by Lamar's standards. It was good to see the Ravens still pull out with the win. Even in a game, it felt like the offense couldn't get anything going. Yeah, Derrick Henry, though. 18 carries, 103 yards, mostly coming on that one big run that you couldn't even get a touchdown out of, which was even more frustrating. Your next big play is Mark Andrews, 1 carry for 35 yards, that touchdown. Keaton Mitchell, let's take Keaton Mitchell. Let's completely erase what Keaton Mitchell did on that interception. Let's take that play out because we all know that was bad. That's on him. I get it. They were trying on CBS to give every excuse in the world for how it wasn't Mitchell's fault. Balls here, you got to catch it. I get it. Like a running back maybe wants it on the numbers. They want it out. Balls here, you got to catch it. If it hits you, goes through your hands, hit your helmet straight up, you got to catch it. Also, are they calling it the hurricane? Sorry, I just saw the quote from Harbaugh. But besides that, Keaton also got a screen pass for about 6 yards. Then 6 carries, 31 yards, 5.2 yards per carry. Loved it. I felt like Keaton Mitchell, he's getting more and more involved. And my biggest thing is he was in plays that he was going out for passes. He was getting the rock, obviously 6 carries here. And every time he was on the field prior to this, and Harbaugh had kind of alluded to this, they're like, the biggest issue with Keaton right now is like when he's on the field, you kind of know the ball's going to him. Like he's got to be a gadget player. When he's on the field, Keaton's getting the ball. It didn't feel like that, especially with Justice Hill out. It felt like he got a lot more run. He was out there even in pass protection, running routes, chipping Myles Garrett from like a Y back situation right outside the tight end. It felt like they were moving him around, and it wasn't just automatically if Keaton's out there, he's getting the ball. So I thought that really helped Keaton as well. Lamar, 4 rushes for 10. Lamar, you can tell he's still got, maybe it's his knee now, something. He's not running like himself. Avoided the sack the one time, gained a first down. But, this is not the Lamar Jackson we've all seen before. Zay Flowers, 1 carry for 5 yards. Then let's go to the receiving because there was a lot. Ball was spread out today. Zay Flowers, 3 receptions for 78 yards, 45 of which came on that deep ball in the second quarter. Mark Andrews, 3 receptions, 32 yards. Let's give a hand as well. The all-time leading receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Andrews, take a bow. Keaton Mitchell, 2 receptions for 23 yards. he once was getting involved in the pass game. I thought he gave them a lot of really good reps receiving the ball because, man, if you get him in space, it's fun. It is fun on that final touchdown drive, get him out in the open space on a 2nd and 10, I believe, gain 16. Just keep finding ways. Derrick Henry, very involved in the pass game today. 2 receptions for 19 yards. Kind of felt like a bailout at times for Lamar Jackson, which you don't really see a lot, is Derrick Henry making big plays from the flat, especially on dump offs. Good to see that. Isaiah Likely, 2 receptions for 15 yards. Actually, both of his were underneath dump offs. I'm going to skip over Ali for a second because I'm going to get into my Marshall stuff with him. DeAndre Hopkins, if you throw the ball to him, he's going to catch it. That was barely between the defender's arm. Get past him and D-Hop. I've never seen a ball that this man won't catch. Every time he's on the field and we throw it to him, I feel like it is a blessing to watch because I've not seen that man, at least for us. I know he had his weird spout in Kansas City. This is one of the best. I would bring D-Hop back next year and solely be like, we'll give you $5 million to be a guy that we can just rely on to catch the ball in big situations, because that's what he does. Tylan Wallace was targeted on what I believe should have been pass interference, but not called. Charlie Kohler was targeted on that ball that was then tipped and intercepted. Rasheen Ali, go Herd, baby. Marshall alum, 1 reception for 15 yards. Hyped to see him representing Marshall and just doing well out there. So yeah, that's the story today for the Ravens. Kyle Hamilton, let's go through 6 solo tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackle for 2 pass deflect and a quarterback hit. Well, I'll read it again. Kyle Hamilton, 9 total tackles, 6 solo, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, and a pass deflection and a quarterback hit. They literally said on the broadcast, they're like, at some point, Zach Orr just says, hey, we need something. We're going to send Kyle Hamilton. We need someone to make a play here. Send Kyle Hamilton. And he should have had an interception there. Kyle Hamilton. What a freaking player. What a freaking player. Kyle Hamilton is one of, if not the best defenders outside of Myles Garrett, maybe Micah Parsons in the league. He won't win Defensive Player of the Year because it's an edge rushers award. And let's be real, Myles Garrett deserves that. Like, let's not play stupid. Myles Garrett, with what did he finish today with? He had 5 total tackles, 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. Like, Myles Garrett's insane. Myles Garrett's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but Kyle Hamilton should finish second. He is absolutely incredible. You put him anywhere and he's going to make plays. Have to shout out Alohi Gilman, 6 total tackles, 2 solos. Chidobe Awuzie, what a play at the end of the game. Thrown over to, I'm sorry, I'm going to mess up who it was to. I don't believe it was to Tillman. Let me see what player was it to Malachi Corley maybe? I feel like it was to Malachi Corley. Way to break it up. That was an incredible play. That was literally one of the defining moments. Next play, they go out and they get the stop to end the game, but that was a massive play there. Nate Wiggins with the interception was awesome. Roquan Smith only credited with 4 tackles, 4 solos. He felt like he was everywhere. That looked like the Roquan Smith we've all come to know and love. Played an awesome middle linebacker. Was all over the place, filled holes. I was very happy with how Roquan played. And really overall, like, Teddy Buchanan, thought he played fantastic. Brent Urban was in there. Travis Jones was in there. We'll see what this is. Another funny game where Draymond Jones gets 1 tackle, but he was in on every play. He was getting so much pressure. Did we get any quarterback hits? 2 quarterback hits from Draymond Jones. He was bringing pressure. He was putting it on the quarterbacks, whether it was Gabriel or especially Shadur. Defense won this ball game. Defense won this ball game. Offense tried their best to not get in the end zone. Special teams tried their damnedest at times to lose it. I thought Stout played well. Obviously, Lou perfect on his aspect, but clean up things, because if you play like this, you are not going to win a lot of ball games. You have the Jets next week. Go win. It's going to be a massive game versus Cincinnati Bengals. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are people worried about the Bengals? I'm still worried about the Bengals because if they win next week, they beat us. They are right there. Joe Burrow is a dangerous quarterback. I don't care how bad their defense looked at times. I still think that with Joe Burrow, they in a wide open AFC North. So take care of business next week. Get to 6-5. This was a ugly game. Very, very, very ugly. Did not like it for a second, but they found a way to get the job done. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show postgame. I'm Zach Bollinger over on Kevin and Zach React and on the Ryan Ripken Show channel. We are cross streaming. Going to be live over on Kevin and Zach React at the conclusion of the Sunday night football game. So that's going to be fun. We'll be live with Kevin Ostreicher to break down the rest of the game and the rest of the league. Kansas City loses. Big for the Ravens. Also had the Jags beat the Chargers, which I don't think people understand. That pushes the Chargers down. Maybe that if they drop another game or two, that can open up one of the final wild card spots. But appreciate everyone for tuning in. They won. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how ugly it is. It doesn't matter the mistakes that were made. You clean them up, and it is much easier to talk about them after a win than it is after a loss. So appreciate you all for tuning in. That's going to do it for this edition of the Ravens postgame show. Ravens win 23-16 in an ugly game in Cleveland. But that's going to do it for this edition of Kevin and Zach React, Ryan Ripken Show postgame. We'll be back here on the Kevin and Zach React channel in about 3 hours, and we'll talk about it more. So appreciate you all, and I'll see you soon.